My name's Kiley Stucker. I farm with my dad and a family friend, and my wife is how we started. We've been farming since 2015. I've always liked growing potatoes. From back when I was managing some farms, this was the favorite crop I liked to grow. It seemed like at the end of the year there was always some pretty decent yields and rewards, and it was a crop that had several challenges and stresses throughout the year that a guy had to navigate through. And this potato industry's disease is obviously one of the challenges that we face. It's trying to keep the crop alive, and not along with the disease, it's the bug pressures, and it seems like every year there's something different being thrown at you that you have to kind of maneuver through. That was one of the reasons why I decided to do this trial. This particular field, it seemed like the last potato crop I had, it went down early. The bean crop I had before that struggled. Well, standard practice in the past has just been, whatever my local agronomist and I talked about how to control it chemically. So I thought, if we can try to do something to improve our soil health and what we're doing, and maybe eliminate some of those commercial products and lower my inputs, it's something I need to take a look at.
I'm Kelly Verhollen. I'm the agronomist for the Plover, Wisconsin location. Soil health and regenerative agriculture has become a big focus for McCain's because we recognize that the climate is changing, and some regions are already seeing the effects of climate change more harshly than others, and we want to get ahead of that. This is one of our trials that's focusing on biofumigation because there's a movement away from fumigation. It works at controlling our plant pathogens, but it also really hurts our soil microbiome.
Basically what I tried here is a mustard and tillage radish trial. Half of this field is planted into mustard. The other quarter was planted into tillage radish. Most of the field was fumigated at a 38-gallon rate, but we did one complete round. There was no fumigation, and then there was a pass with half-rate fumigation. We did that on the mustard and on the tillage radish side. As you can look across the field and see, I really can't pick out the spots that were half-rate or no rate. So basically the year that I planted the mustard, we ended up planting it the second week of August. I rented a drill from Reister and Snell, and a little cultipacker we put in front. We drilled it in at 7.5 pounds, 150 pounds of ammonium sulfate, and then 50 pounds of potash. And I had some calcium left over from that year that I ran through the water. And we ended up taking it down. It would have been the second week of October after we got done with harvest. It was probably waist high when we mowed it down. I came with a Play-Doh chopper, chopped it down, and I had a disc right behind it, discing it in. When we did it that day, it was actually misting and slight rain, so I had good moisture. We did not water in behind it. Well, the mustard is what I was hoping it would do, is be able to suppress nematodes and able to maybe eventually someday eliminate fumigation altogether. Obviously, that's something that's going to be down the road, because there's obviously costs that are associated with that for reduced yields and risks to the crop. The tillage radish, there have been several other farms that I farm that it seems like every year with these big rains we struggle with water spots and puddling and ponding, and I thought, well, maybe if I could do something to reduce compaction that we could put into the rotation on not just this field but other fields. That was kind of the thoughts behind that.
For a good comparison, there is a decent amount of verticillium pressure already in this field that even the fumigation did not totally wipe it down. With the full fumigated samples, they still had verticillium pressure in significant levels, but it pretty much wiped out your nematode population. There wasn't a seriously clear winner between mustard or radish when in regards to verticillium pressure, but it was a little more apparent that it looked like the mustard worked better on the verticillium population when it was just standalone.
The spots that had the no rate, half rate aren't really standing out with really severe early dying. So did it do something? almost think it had to have done something, yes.
I'm kind of enthused that with the amount of pressure that all of the plots have, how well the potato plants are doing still. We still have a decent, basically a whole month worth of bulking that the potato plants can do, but as of right now, I'm very content with how they're looking.
Well, this trial, as far as McCain's help, went really well. You know, they helped with some of the seeding costs. Mac was the original agronomist I worked with. He was great to work with. He was out here all the time. You know, we talked, we looked at it, gave different opinions. And Kelly took over, and they've been out here weekly. They've been spending more time in it than I've had time to do. So obviously that was good, where I can talk to them at the end of the year and see what they've seen that I may have not had the time to actually take a look at. It's been a good trial.
Farming, stressful as it is, just dealing with just normal operations, adding in, try to learn and try to kind of take more risks when you're already taking a lot of risks. Like, we'd like to help with that so that we can both learn and both benefit. I think it's really important for growers like Kiley to be involved in trials like this, especially ones focused towards alternatives to fumigation or reduction of fumigation. Like, it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all situation, but it's now another tool in their toolbox that they could utilize.
I think as growers, we need to be able to work together to try to figure out ways to better improve our soil and some of our practices.